Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today I'm going to be unboxing 3 Cologne fragrances, including Fragrance World's Supreme LHomme. So let's jump into it. We are back with another unboxing first impressions video of 3 Cologne fragrances that I recently picked up from Fragrance Spy. Links are going to be down in the description if you decide you want to check any of these out, and I also have a coupon code. Save yourself $5 off your first purchase at Fragrance Spy if you decide you want to shop with them. Pretty excited about this one. We are getting into the world of Fragrance World. I have never tried any Fragrance World fragrances before, and we're going to do that today. I'm pretty excited, and we also have a Paris corner in here. So let's quit screwing around. Let's get into it. Kicking things off, we're going to start with Fragrance World, and it's Fragrance World's Hardwood. I know some of you are probably giggling about the name. $30 at Fragrance Spy. I've heard this is a clone or interpretation of Bath & Body Works mahogany wood. It's the first time I've ever seen someone clone something from Bath & Body Works. That is a discontinued fragrance. I actually never had the opportunity to try it, so we're just gonna dive into this one. I'll tell you what I think just on this fragrance alone. All right, there we have the box presentation for Fragrance World's Hardwood. Pretty straightforward cardboard box, a little bit of a shimmer to it. Necessaries on the back, a little bit of a forest design there, but overall cardboard box. Let's get to the bottle. All right, and there we have the bottle presentation for Fragrance World Hardwood. Pretty straightforward bottle, nice thick glass to this, nice thick base. Does have that Bath & Body Works style of bottle, which is not really a style, it's just a rectangle bottle, but overall pretty nice presentation. Cap on this is really thin, cheap, lightweight plastic. And the atomizer on this, decent atomizer on this, will definitely get the job done. But what does this smell like? Wow, so right out the gate, just smell this in the air. This is gorgeous fragrance right off the bat. Has that woody aspect, that mahogany that's in there, has a little bit of an orange tinge to it. There's some vanilla in there, so there's a nice mix of some sweetness, some really nice rich woods, a little bit of citrus coming through. This is gorgeous. I'm excited about this one. Let's get it on paper, see what we're dealing with. So off paper, this is a little bit different than it was in the air. You're getting that mahogany, it's not as present as it was in the air, but you're getting this kind of deep, kind of dark blood orange that's coming through, and there's this pepper that's in there that's really nice. I think it's a red pepper that's mixed in there. It doesn't have that black pepper nose tickle going onto it, but it does have this nice edge of spice to it. It's very bold, mixed with that blood orange, a little hint of those woods, a bit of a booziness coming through. This is really nice. As this is opening up a little bit more, I'm getting some nice ambery vanilla that's coming through. It's adding some sweetness to this. The woods are starting to come through a little bit more of that nice mahogany, and there's a nice booziness to this cognac note that's coming through. It's not overly aggressive, it's not like an overly boozy fragrance, but it's definitely there, giving it a nice richness with this really deep, rich style of mahogany, like a Rhum Burgundy style of deep mahogany. Very nice. Yeah, this one's really transitioning quite a bit from that opening to a few minutes into it. It's getting very creamy, very smooth. The sweetness is pushing forward a little bit more. The woods are starting to play a little bit more of a role. That mahogany is still there. That citrus has died off, but it's really starting to take on that warm, ambery vanilla mixing with those woods and just a nice creamy smoothness to this. This is really nice. I'm enjoying this quite a bit. Let's skip to the dry down, see how this all unfolds, and we'll go from there. We're back with the dry down of Fragrance World's Hardwood. Been about an hour. Let this settle down, do its own thing. Let me tell you, this dry down is absolutely magnificent. I don't think I've ever used that word on this channel, magnificent, but I am absolutely loving this. The woods have really come through really nice. It's so smooth, creamy, has this vanilla amber in there, a little bit of that tonka, so it's just like a nice creamy vanilla, but the woods are very forward, and you're still getting a little hint of that blood orange, kind of that deep style of warm citrus, and a little bit of kind of a sweet aromatic that's in here. This is just very rich, has a lot of depth to it, but the woods are the star of the show here with that vanilla amber sort of poking through in the background, and those other accords just dancing around the edges. Absolutely beautiful. This kind of surprised me. I did not expect this to be as good as it actually is, and I'm absolutely loving this one. I'm not sure what the performance is going to be on this. This is not blasting off the paper, but it's not weak either. So I'm going to get this on skin. I am definitely going to do a full review of this one, but so far this is an absolute love for me. Really stoked on this one, and for $30 pending performance, I think this was an absolute gem of a pickup. Really excited about this one. I think this might be worth checking out. That's Fragrance World's Hardwood. All right, next up, going to the House of Paris corner, and it's Paris Corner's Étouffe. I picked this bad boy up for $28 at Fragrance Buy. This is a giant box. I don't even know what to expect here. Let's dive in. Let's find out. All right, there we have the giant box presentation for Paris Corners Touffe. Nothing really to it. Some nice shimmery gold out there, kind of a nice pattern along there. Necessaries on the back, but overall just a cardboard box. Let's see this bottle. I was tricked. There's a box inside the box. Very, very nice. Nice thick cardboard to this. Does have that repeating kind of shimmering gold going on the front. And it opens like a so. Ooh, very fancy looking presentation with this. So it is sitting in kind of a nice little foam podium there. So nice box presentation. What did I pay for this? $28? That's pretty good for a $28 fragrance. And there we have the bottle presentation. Nothing too special, kind of a nice blue color to this, rounded edges on the top. It does have kind of like a textured, like almost like a knurling kind of texture on the cap right there. Some nice bottle presentation, nice thick base to this. Cap on this, nice heavy metal to this as well, so it doesn't have any sort of a cheap feel to it. And the atomizer on this. Decent atomizer. Fat puffs, doesn't go very far, but it will definitely get the job done. But what does this smell like? So right off the jump, just smelling this in the air from testing that atomizer, really saffron leather forward fragrance at this moment, but it does have some sweetness that's kind of balancing it out. A bit of a warm sweetness to it, some vanilla that's coming through, but it's definitely got that saffron leather thing going on to it in the air. So let's get this on paper, see what we're dealing with. Yeah, very similar experience off paper as it was in the air. It's got this really kind of dry, salty style of leather with that saffron there. Not a lot of sweetness at this moment in this initial blast of it. It is there. There is that vanilla that's in the background, but for the most part, this is very, like I said, dry, salty leather with that saffron on top. As this is kind of settling down right now, that saffron and leather, it's still very much in the lead, but it has toned down a little bit. It is getting a little bit smoother. That vanilla is coming forward a little bit more. This apparently is a clone of YSL's Baby Cat and also Resendo's Mateau number 5. I'm not familiar with either of those. Those are the YSLs from the premium line. I haven't had a chance to check that one out, but that's apparently what they're going for. The notes kind of line up the same when I did check this one out, but it is starting to smooth out a little bit. The initial opening, it was good if you're into like dry leather saffron style of fragrances, but it was really aggressive. It was very forward, but now it's really starting to kind of calm down and settle in, and it's becoming a little bit more elegant than abrasive. There is a little bit of tonka that's poking its head out right now. A bit of a kind of a roasted, dusty style of tonka. It's giving it a little bit more of that vanillic accord as well, but it is giving it a real texture. I think that's what's causing kind of the dry leather thing to happen, but overall this has some potential here. I want to see what this does once it's settled down and we get to the dry down, because like I said, it was a little bit aggressive in that opening, but I can sense that this is settling down and it's starting to open up and develop some more of those notes in there. So let's skip to the dry down, see what we're dealing with. And we are back with the dry down of Paris Corners Touffe. Been about an hour, let this settle down, do its own thing. This really didn't change a whole lot. It's still pretty much a salty leather saffron style of fragrance with like little tiny hints of some sweetness in the back. Like I said, some vanilla, maybe a little bit of like tonka that's in here. Little bit of musk perhaps, but the star of the show is that leather, that again, dry, salty leather with the saffron sitting on top. So a little disappointed, to be quite honest. I was hoping the sweet accords would push forward a little bit more, making this a little bit more interesting, a little bit more exciting, but right now, this is just kind of like a spicy, dry leather, salty fragrance. Might be a different story on skin, so I'm not going to write this one off. It's not a bad fragrance, don't get me wrong. I know I sound disappointed. I was just expecting this to have a little bit of sweet coming through, but it's not a bad fragrance. It's just a kind of a typical Middle Eastern leather style of fragrance, and so I was hoping for a little bit more, but I'm going to get this on skin, see if some of that sweetness comes out a little bit more, or what the story is on that one. This does seem like it'd be pretty strong, because it is pushing off the paper pretty good, so you know, could be a good performer, but have to get back to y'all on that one. But so far for $28, I'm not sure if I needed this in my collection, but I'll get back to you guys. I'll let you know. That's Paris Corners Touffe. All right, last, but hopefully not least, going with Fragrance World's Supreme LHomme. Now, this apparently is a clone of Guerlain's L'Homme Ideal, which I'm pretty excited about. It's supposed to be kind of a bit of a twist on the EDP. I really enjoy that Guerlain fragrance, and so I'm hoping they did a good job on this. So let's just find out, shall we? All right, so there we have the box presentation for Fragrance World's Supreme LHomme. Pretty straightforward cardboard box, nice shimmery silver on there. Has like the name of a whole bunch of different cities in the text there. Same with on the side, necessaries on the back. Overall, plain old cardboard box. Let's look at the bottle. All right, so there we have the bottle presentation for Fragrance World's Supreme LHomme. Pretty nice looking bottle. It really looks like that Guerlain style of bottle. A little black on the backs where it has name of the cities kind of mirroring the front of the box, kind of pasted into the back there, name of the fragrance there. Nice bottle presentation overall. Cap on this, lightweight plastic. The rim here is metal, but otherwise this is kind of a cheapy plastic right there. And the atomizer on this sucker. Ooh, nice atomizer. Almost feels pressurized. It's trying to be pressurized, but overall it's a pretty nice atomizer. Will get the job done. What does this smell like? Right off the jump, just smelling this in the air, it's undeniably that's what they were going for in terms of a cologne. That Guerlain L'Homme Ideal, that's when I'm get some of that almond that's coming through, like some heliotrope. There's some nice pink pepper that's in there as well. Very nice. Let's get this on paper. Let's dive in. Yeah, really nice opening on this. You're definitely getting that almond, this pink pepper that's coming through, adds a bit of sweetness, a little bit of that kind of fresh spice vibe, and it's blending with the bergamot really nice. So this tart bergamot, a little bit of a citrus. So it has this nice like freshness to it, but it has that fresh spice aspect, as well as that almond accord coming through. A little bit of that heliotrope, sort of almost like a vanillic, floral, like a soft sweetness coming through in the background, and some fruity sweetness like some plum as well. Really, really nice opening. As this is opening up a little bit more, that almond is starting to push forward a little bit more, which I'm really happy about. It was a little faint in the opening. It was there, but it wasn't like necessarily a star, but it's kind of taking the stage a little bit more now. And some nice warm spice pushing through, some cinnamon pushing through, but all those other accords are still working together. It's just that those two are pushing forward a little bit more right now, and this is beautiful. Yeah, now as this is opening up a lot more, that initial freshness that was there in that opening is really starting to kind of warm up. It's getting a little bit of a dryness to it. So it's like dry tobacco that's in the background. The almonds taking on kind of almost that like cherry vibe you get from almond accords sometimes. And that cinnamon's still there for sure. And it's getting drier. It's getting a little bit warmer. It's getting a little bit richer. It's very, very nice. A little bit of woods are starting to poke through, like a cedar starting to poke through a little bit more. I am digging this. It is a twist on that Ideal, the L'Homme Ideal. It's not quite the same, but the reminders are definitely there. If you smelled that one and you smell this one, you're definitely going to draw the comparison for sure. But let's skip to the dry down, see how this develops, and we'll go from there. We're back with the dry down of Fragrance World's Supreme LHomme. Been an hour, let it settle down, do its own thing. The woods in this really came forward in the dry down. It's still holding a little bit of that almond. The almond has died down a little bit. It's not as present as it was in that opening, but it is still there. But these woods, this nice cedars come through, a little bit of this kind of tobacco, like earthy tobacco, dry tobacco leaf style of accord is mixing with that cedar note really well, but you're still getting those sweet accords. You're still getting some of that plum heliotrope that's working its way through, and that warm spice from that cinnamon. Nice, smooth, elegant, gentlemanly style of fragrance, and I'm digging this one. This is really surprisingly good quality on this one for a $33 fragrance. It's not like super cheap, but it's like, this smells a lot better than a $33 fragrance. So I am very impressed with this. I think the balance on these notes are really working well. It just has just the right level of sweetness, so it's not overly sweet, but it's lightening it up a little bit and giving it a little bit of a playful vibe. But those woods that are coming through, that tobacco that's coming through, it's just a really nice mix of the warm spice, the sweet, the woods, the tobacco, and that little kiss of that almond in there. Beautiful. I'm really impressed with this one. Fragrance World, good first impressions on this one. Not blasting off the paper. We'll have to see what the performance is. I suspect this might be a little bit on the weak side, but I'll have to get it on skin, get back to you guys, let you know. But so far, I am impressed with this one. That's Fragrance World's Supreme LHomme. All right, so there you have it. That's my unboxing and first impressions of 3 new cologne fragrances I recently picked up. Really impressed with Fragrance World. This has been, like I said, my first foray into the Fragrance world, and it's 2 for 2 for me. So I'm really impressed. I am definitely gonna get more. So I wanna hear from you guys. What are some other Fragrance World fragrances that I need to pick up in my next haul? Comment down below. I would definitely wanna hear from you guys. I wanna hear about your hidden gems, your different taste and scent profiles. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.